All right. Another of Daryl's reactions. Today, we'll talk about two things. One, Deandre Ayton, and two, Sonya Curry. So I'm just going to give my thoughts about Deandre Ayton and the match offer sheet, and then Sonya Curry with her personal problems in life. So stay tuned. We'll come back. We're going to discuss that. Be right back.
Okay.
Daryl's reactions. I am Daryl. Welcome to another one. I'm glad you're able to join me on this one. So as I just said a few minutes ago, that we're going to discuss Deandre Ayton and Sonya Curry. First one is Deandre Ayton. But before I do that, this little mini video audio podcast is a courtesy of Double Take Sports Talk. So, of course, we're on that social media. You can follow our podcast pages on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook is the fan page of the Watch Brothers. And you've got Twitter at DTSD2414 and Instagram at DTSD2414. And then, of course, at YouTube, you can always search that box, Double Take Sports Talk. You can always subscribe to our channel, like our videos, like our content, anything we got to do with it. We're good. So, Deandre Ayton, real quickly, straight to the point. Fortunately, that the Indiana Pacers has decided to offer Deandre Ayton a 4-year, $133 or $131 million contract, 133 to be exact. And he agreed to that contract, with an offer sheet, to say the least. He agreed to it. So the Phoenix Suns has approximately 48 hours to respond to that. Pretty much 2 days to respond to that. So in this case, it looks like that the Suns are actually going to match that offer because they're not actually interested in a sign and trade in this case. So, but I would be surprised if the Phoenix Suns actually did let him go and actually let the Pacers say, hey, that's y'all's problem now. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But, the Pacers are willing to give up a couple of things, a couple of players to create that space cap for Deandre Ayton. And I'm kind of surprised by that too. But push comes to shove at the same time. Some of these things are meant to happen, but evidently like Phoenix Suns is going to match it according from what I've read. But of course, in the world of sports, anything is possible. So definitely keep an eye on that. But that's all I have on the Deandre Ayton, no deal. Now, Sonya Curry. This was an interesting one because I've come across this. Like, I've seen it and I've been meaning to share it. So I'm going to take this opportunity really, really quick and share that she had recently opened up about, her personal life with dealing with marriage, her faith, and, family and stuff like that. And so now she's really focused on self-improvement. This is her literally talking about these things. She also went on the podcast and discussed her depression, stuff like that. So if I find any information about her depression, I will discuss that on the Breaking Mental Health with Daryl podcast, like segment, not the podcast, but the segment on Double Take Sports Talk. That's just if I have any information pertaining to that. But let's dive in real quickly on what she said about her self-improvement from her book. She said this story. One day at church, I was just sitting there. The pastor just seemed like he's talking to you. There could be 10,000 people in the room, and he's like you. He talked about if you're tired of doing the same old, just give Jesus a try. And I just got up, went to the front, and it was just like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. So, Lord, I'm going to try it. You said all that you are. Let's see. I'm going to go for it. Sometimes you have to take that necessary hack in your life to actually make the changes, to actually get to the self-improvement. You have to actually sit down and be like, well, it could take one person, it could take one thing to happen in an event, it could take anything. But for Sonya, it actually took her to be in church to hear that. And with Sonya being in the news a lot here with the divorce of Del Curry, and actually having those actually hearing in the news, this right here is really the sum up point of what she's been dealing with, and if there was infidelities and stuff like that. And mostly this divorce news has pretty much just put that all out in the open, that both of them have actually had affairs with each other, with other people. So it's interesting that she did actually come and just be like, you know what, I have to, focus on me. And everybody has to. And it's all about the basic mental health. We all know this, right? So they're all athletes. This explains everything because they're all athletes. Sonya was an athlete. She was a volleyball player. Dale, Steph, and Seth, and Seidel, they're all athletes in their different perspectives. And this shows right here that this is not the average family. These are really successful athletes in a successful family that is actually going through what other people would deal with. So it's not like that they're living this big, large life and actually being the perfect family. And they're not. And that just proved it right there. And that is the ultimate, in my personal opinion, testament of what people can deal with in their lives. And I'm impressed that she did actually open up the way that she did, sharing her faith and sharing her struggles with mental health and all that. I'm downright impressed, So sometimes you do have to take that into the initiative and have to share it with people because you could change their lives. And she could have done that. So just bearing that in mind. But that's all I have for this. So I appreciate y'all, taking the time to listen to me and watch me or whatever y'all doing. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me. But once again, this podcast is courtesy of Double Take Sports Talk. Just follow us on social media. But I'm Daryl. Catch me again on the next Daryl's Reactions. But until then, I'm out.